am a trichologist, so that means I am a hair and scalp expert stroke clinician. And I am here to sprinkle a little bit more doom and gloom about the hair loss products that you're hoping that works. Sorry to be a Debbie Downer about this, but this is about why shampoos are a waste of time for hair growth. And this is a divisive conversation. Some colleagues might have a different idea on thought process on this, but my conversation to you today is just to lower expectations and to put a little bit of clarity into what you're hoping to get from a shampoo, especially if you're using it for hair loss. So, understanding why they're a waste of time for hair growth. Basically, they're a detergent for a dead fiber. So, this stuff here is there's no nerve endings, no blood vessels. They can't conduct information down into the hair follicle. So, anything that you do regarding a shampoo has to go through the skin or the scalp. But shampoos are popular. They are easy to use. They are inexpensive, but their claims are pretty nebulous and vague. Most hair growth shampoos lack clinical or robust clinical data. Probably the most tried and tested ingredient is caffeine, and caffeine actually shows that there is an effect on hair. So, what the hell am I talking about? Well, the problem is twofold that caffeine has a half life of 4 hours, and the vehicle that they're using, the shampoo itself, might not be the best way of getting it into the follicle in the first place. So there's a difference between saying caffeine helps with hair growth and a caffeine shampoo helps with hair growth. Two completely different things. It's like saying petrol is helpful for making cars go, but you keep the petrol in the can and just put it on the top of the roof rather than in the actual tank. So there is inconclusive and mixed results. And it's important to understand that in 2018, the Advertising Standard Authority did rule against Alpecin, saying that they can't say that it reduces hair loss because there wasn't enough evidence to support that claim. I don't know whether they're going to try and go back to them with more evidence because that's the way that science works. And I'm not saying that it never will work, but I'm just saying at the moment there it's inconclusive. Other common ingredients, biotin, saw palmetto, thyme, rosemary, limited evidence of efficacy. We don't know what these do topically. And even if they do work topically, what is the mode of application? What is the strength? What is the amount of time that it works for? What is the carrier? There's lots of things, lots of variables rather than just going, well, we know that biotin helps, which it doesn't actually. Biotin doesn't even help if you ingest it. But so there is a really big thing about people thinking that something works and then something works in a shampoo. Natural hair loss products have been around for thousands of years, and oils have been used, and so all these natural things have been around. And if they worked, we would have figured it out, and we would have thought, oh, actually, that thing helps with so and so. And then some massive pharmaceutical company would have come along, extrapolated what it was from the oil that works, and then made it better, and then slapped a huge price on it and made us pay for it. So when you're thinking about what helps with natural therapies, they may have things in it that help, but only help a little bit. And this is probably the other thing which we'll come on to in a second. But shampoos themselves, they're rinsed off quickly. They may not penetrate deep enough into the follicle to be meaningful. And like I said before, regarding things like caffeine, we need to know what half-life is, how long they will last. Caffeine has a half-life of 4 hours. You know that because you drink it, and then 4 hours later you feel tired again. The same thing happens on hair. So let's just be kind to caffeine at the moment. Say that the shampoos do work, which don't, but even if you wash your hair 3 times a week, that is 12 hours of stimulation in a week that your hair gets to get stimulated. Now you might turn around to me and go, oh, it's 12 hours. 12 hours is 12 hours. Yeah, okay. But let's say this another way. So you want to get fit and you do one push-up a day, and Yeah, you're doing one push-up a day. You're doing more than you did before, but is it really going to affect you? Probably not. So these are the things that, you've got to think of these things logically. And help is an interesting word because it's probably the most misused word in hair loss. When you see something that says help, it doesn't mean cure. It rarely means treat to a satisfactory level. Um, and help is to an indeterminate degree. So you've got to be really careful with when you're reading those marketing words. The quick growing hair claim. This needs a special mention because of how ridiculous it is. It's very difficult to make hair naturally grow faster than what it wants to. You can stimulate growth, you can do that over a short period of time. But even if you stimulated it a lot with something like minoxidil, it won't grow massively quicker than it would have done naturally. There isn't any studies that say, the average hair growth is about 1 centimeter to 1.2 centimeters per month. Using minoxidil doesn't push that to 2 centimeters per month. It just physically cannot do that. So these things where you see a before and after picture and they go, this is what I did in the month, and the person's hair has grown that much. Swap the before and after around because that's what they've done. They've got somebody with long hair and just cut the hair off and then swap the photographs around. It's a sham. But there is an outlier, ketoconazole, which is used in ketapine and nizoral and things like that. That has been shown to have an anti-androgenetic effect. So it does help with genetic forms of hair loss. So there is an anti-hair loss shampoo out there. It's an anti-dandruff shampoo called nizoral or ketapine or anything with ketoconazole in it. The downside is that it's expensive for a shampoo. You use it about twice per week. You can't use it any more than that because the scalp might get sensitive. It might dry the hair out. A lot of people do say that it dries the hair out. But for a guy, if you want a shampoo that is going to help you with general hair thinning over many, many years, then you might as well put something like this into your regime because it's just going to gradually and generally help a little bit. And there is some good evidence to say that using this does tend to have a small but significant effect. So here's my conclusion that shampoos are not reliable on their own as a hair growth therapy. They can help assist promote healthy hair growth to some small degree in some cases. And shampoos that reduce inflammation may help more than stimulatory shampoos. And it's not covered here. See my scalp health video regarding oxidative stress on the scalp. So if you want to use them as an add-on therapy, as an adjunct therapy, then, and you're already using medication for hair loss, then yeah, absolutely. That's not a problem. I don't have an issue with that. And I would say as long as you like using it, then you're fine to use it. But if you're using what's classed or called an anti-hair loss shampoo as a singular monotherapy for hair loss and expecting to see hair growth by using it, you won't, and you're wasting your time. What you need to do is get a diagnosis, figure out what the problem is. If you like that shampoo, please carry on using it. That's great, but don't just rely on it for hair loss issues. Shampoos may help with reducing long-term inflammation, protect the hair from oxidative stress, but this is a long-term fix. It's the same as when people use UV filters in face cream, helping for their wrinkles. It's that using a sun factor on the skin is going to be beneficial over a long period of time. And you're talking about decades. If you use an anti-inflammatory shampoo, anti-dandruff, or a scalp health product, something that is going to reduce any inflammation on the scalp, that is going to reduce oxidative stress to the follicle, to the hair, and over time, that might be beneficial, and it might just keep your hair healthier for longer. I hope that's helped. And any comments, considerations, please like, subscribe, and I look forward to speaking to you again next time.